Hello students and welcome to the lecture of oligosaccharides. I am Harshita and today I am going to teach you about oligosaccharides in detail. So the objectives of this lecture are to get familiar with the various oligosaccharides, how can we classify and subclassify them, what are the structures they have and what are the functions they possess. So, in today's lecture, we are going to be talking about Introduction to Oligosaccharides, what are glycosidic linkages and how are they formed, and in detail we are going to talk about lactose and sucrose. Now, before we move on with oligosaccharides, we must remember the classifications of carbohydrates as we have learned in previous lectures also. So, as you all know, carbohydrates can be broadly classified on the basis of the monosaccharides unit present in them as monosaccharides, which has a single sugar unit present in it, and its examples are glucose, fructose, and galactose. The next is disaccharides, which are made up of two monosaccharide units bound together via a glycosidic linkage, and it includes sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Another classification is oligosaccharides, which is when 2 to 10 monosaccharides unit are joined together with the help of a glycosidic linkage, it forms an oligosaccharide. We must keep in mind that disaccharides are also the type of oligosaccharides, but they can be separately classified as well. Examples of oligosaccharides are raffinose and stachyose. And moving on to the last classification, which is polysaccharides. We call a carbohydrate as polysaccharide where 10 or more sugar units come together to form long chains of carbohydrates via glycosidic linkages. Then they are known as polysaccharides. Its example include starch, glycogen, and celluloses. Now, with the help of this video, we'll take a closer look at what disaccharides are and what are the various examples of disaccharides and what are their properties. So let's now discuss about disaccharides. So as you can see here, disaccharides are oligosaccharides which are made up of two monosaccharide units which can either be same or different, and these are joined together with the help of a glycosidic linkage. We are going to learn about some of the disaccharides such as sucrose, maltose, and lactose. So we'll start with sucrose. So here you can see. So sucrose is one of the most important disaccharides in our daily life, and it is widely distributed in nature in juices, seeds, fruits, and it is also found in flowers of many plants. The main source of sucrose is sugarcane and sugar beet, and in India we refer sucrose as table sugar, and we usually extract it from sugarcane. So what is the chemical formula for sucrose? Chemical formula is C12H22O11. Now let's see what it is made up of. So if we hydrolyze sucrose or we break the bond by adding one hydrogen H2O molecule to it, which is known as hydrolysis, it will give two monosaccharides. What are these? It is one glucose molecule and one fructose molecule. So as you know, glucose and fructose are having the same formula, but they have different structures. So okay, moving on the structure to sucrose. First we'll have to draw the structure of glucose. This is the ring structure of glucose. And what is it? It is an alpha glucose because the hydroxyl group is pointing downwards. Okay, so this is an alpha D glucose. Now let's draw fructose. And what is it? It is beta fructose because the hydroxyl group on carbon 1 is pointing upwards. So we have made beta D fructose here. Okay. So now the hydroxyl group of carbon 1 here on glucose, and here on second carbon this hydrogen, they react with each other. And they lose one water molecule, which is known as, this reaction is known as dehydration condensation reaction, and they form a bond. And now the resulting structure we get is a sucrose. So here we go. What is formed? Sucrose is formed. And what is sucrose made up of? It is made up of one alpha D glucose and one beta D fructose with the help of a glycosidic bond which is formed between first and second carbons of the two monomers. And a water molecule is released, glycosidic bond is formed. What if we break the sucrose? We'll get one glucose and one fructose. So now, as we know about anomeric carbon. So in both of the monomers, you can see the anomeric carbon itself is involved in bond formation. Because on glucose, the functional group is attached on the first carbon only, and in fructose, the functional group double bond O is attached on the second carbon only. And here first and second carbon are involved in bond formation. So there is no free reactive group in sucrose. Therefore, it is also known as non-reducing sugar. If bond formation would be between any other carbons other than the anomeric carbon, the sugar resulting would be a reducing sugar. So sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. So I hope sucrose is clear now. Let's now move to the second disaccharide, which is maltose. So maltose is commonly called as malt sugar, and it is found in germinated seeds in the form of starch. Starch is a polysaccharide. So if we break starch, we get maltose. So let's break starch by adding H2O molecules to it. And now what we get? We get maltose. So the chemical formula for maltose is C12H22O11. Now when we break maltose by hydrolysis, we get two molecules of glucoses. Because maltose is made up of two glucoses linked together by glycosidic linkages. So here we have made an alpha D glucose because the hydroxyl group is pointing downwards on the first carbon. And here is another glucose molecule, which is again an alpha D glucose molecule because the hydroxyl group is pointing downwards on the first carbon. You can see. So now what happens is the first carbon of this alpha D glucose and the fourth carbon of this alpha D glucose. So this OH, this hydroxyl group reacts with this hydrogen and water molecule is released and a bond is formed. And the resulting structure we got is a maltose. And because the bond is formed between first and fourth carbons of the two alpha D glucoses, it will be called as 1 to 4 alpha glycosidic linkage. And here in fructose, bond was formed between carbon 1 of glucose and carbon 2 of beta fructose. So the bond was 1 to 2 beta glycosidic bond. Let's now move to lactose. So lactose is naturally found in milk of humans as well as animals. And what is it made up of? It is made up of 1 beta D glucose and 1 beta D galactose. So again, the chemical formula of lactose is C12H22O11. And again now let's break it. So on hydrolysis or breaking the bond by adding a water molecule, it gives one glucose molecule and one galactose molecule. And again we know that glucose and galactose have same formula. The only difference is positioning of the hydroxyl group on the fourth carbon. So now let's quickly draw the structures. So what did we get here? We get a beta D galactose. Because why beta? Because the hydroxyl group on the first carbon is pointing upwards. And here we got a beta D glucose. Now this hydroxyl group on the first carbon atom reacts with this hydrogen on the fourth carbon atom of glucose and a bond is formed by dehydration condensation reaction, that is loss of a water molecule, and this bond is formed now. This zigzag bond you see here is formed and we get a lactose. So now again, what is it made up of? Lactose is made up of 1 beta D-galactose or 1 galactose and 1 glucose simply, with the help of a C1 to 4 beta glycosidic linkage. So what did we learn in this video? We learned how sucrose was formed. It was made up of one molecule of fructose, which was joined with a molecule of glucose, linked together with the help of glycosidic linkage. We also learned what is maltose. Maltose was made up of two glucose monomers via 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. And lastly, we discussed about lactose, which was made up of 1 galactose and 1 glucose linked together by beta 1 to 4 glycosidic linkage. So now we will move forward with this lecture and we will see in detail what are glycosidic bonds and how glycosidic bonds are formed, and we'll also have a look about rest of the what is oligosaccharides and rest of the classifications. Moving on to what are oligosaccharides. So oligosaccharides are carbohydrates which are composed of 2 to 10 monosaccharide units linked together with the help of a glycosidic bond. These can be disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide, penta, hexa, hepta, up to 10 sugar molecules. So when two monomers of carbohydrates join together with the help of a glycosidic linkage, they form a disaccharide. So here you can see maltose, which is an example of disaccharide. And then there are trisaccharides. This is when three molecules of carbohydrates come together and join with the help of a glycosidic linkage. A trisaccharide is formed. Similarly, when four molecules come together, they form tetrasaccharides and penta, so on. So today in this lecture, in detail, we are going to learn about disaccharides, and the most important examples are maltose, lactose and sucrose, because these are what we get in our day-to-day life, we take in our diet. Okay, so let's move. So before moving any further with what are disaccharides or another oligosaccharides, we must know how the monosaccharides unit are joining, how they are formed. So they are formed with the help of a glycosidic bond. The bond, here you can see, the bond which is joining these two monosaccharides unit, this bond is known as glycosidic bond. So by definition, covalent bonds that join monosaccharides forming oligosaccharides and polysaccharides by dehydration condensation reaction. So dehydration condensation is removal of water molecule. The bond hence formed will be known as glycosidic form. So here in maltose you can see an alpha bond, which is a straight bond, is formed, and in lactose a beta glycosidic bond, which is a zigzag bond, is formed. Let's move and we'll learn about glycosidic bond in detail in the next video. So now let's have a closer look at glycosidic bonds with the help of this video. So what is a glycosidic bond? So glycosidic bonds are covalent bonds that joins together monosaccharides forming disaccharides, polysaccharides, etc. by dehydration condensation reaction or by removal of water molecule, as we discussed in the previous slide. Let's take an example. This is the glucose in ring form, and which is the most common monosaccharide, and this is also a glucose, and now we have two monosaccharides and a bond is formed between the first carbon of the first glucose and fourth carbon of the second glucose. Now what happens is hydrogen at the first carbon of first glucose is added to hydroxyl group at fourth carbon of the second glucose and water is released. Now the bond is formed between the first and fourth carbon is joined by oxygen. and the linkage here formed is known as alpha 1,2,4 glycosidic linkage. It is called as alpha because the first glucose is in alpha configuration, as you can see, and this disaccharide is maltose. That is, glucose plus glucose via alpha 1,2,4 glycosidic linkage forms a maltose. Now, let's see what kind of bond does one galactose and one glucose form. Here you can see the galactose is in beta configuration. The hydroxyl group is pointing upwards. Therefore, the glycosidic linkage which is formed is zigzag. You can see that. This is called a beta glycosidic linkage, and this is the difference between alpha and beta glycosidic bond. The disaccharide here formed is lactose, which is formed by beta 1,2,4 glycosidic linkage. Now let's move to various other examples of disaccharides. So let's now talk about one of the most common disaccharide we take in our diet, which is maltose. And as we discussed in the previous slides also, that when two glucose molecules form a bond, a glycosidic linkage at 1 and 4 carbon, which is 1,2,4 alpha glycosidic linkage is formed between two glucose units, the resulting disaccharide is a maltose. So what is maltose? So maltose is also known as fermentable sugar. Its uses are, it can be used as a nutrient, as a sweetener because it is sweet to taste, and as a fermentative reagent because it can be fermented. It has a free active group and hence exhibits reducing properties and isomerism. So this is also a reducing sugar. So when an alpha 1,2,4 glycosidic linkage is present between two glucose molecules, it is known as maltose. But when the glycosidic bond is between 1 and 4th carbons of the two glucoses, which becomes an alpha 1,2,6 glycosidic linkage, as you can see here, this compound is known as alpha D-isomaltose, which is an isomer of maltose. So now let's come to sucrose, which is another example of disaccharides, and it is an example of disaccharides we take in our diet. So this is also known as table sugar. It is commercially obtained from sugar cane, and this is the reason we also call it cane sugar. It is found in beetroots, fruits and vegetables. It is formed by joining one glucose with one fructose unit via a beta glycosidic linkage. So you can see here one glucose molecule is joined with one fructose molecule forming a sucrose via a beta glycosidic linkage. So sucrose has no free reactive group because the anomeric carbon of both monosaccharide units are involved in bond formation. Thus sucrose doesn't show any reducing properties. So it can also be known as a non-reducing sugar, while maltose was a reducing sugar. So it can be cleaved into its components, which means we can break down sucrose into its two components, which are glucose and fructose, with the help of an enzyme known as sucrase, which is present on the outer surface of epithelial cell linings. Which means when we eat some fruit, its components are broken down in our body into glucose and fructose in order to give energy. So, genetic lack of sucrases leads to sucrose intolerance, which leads to ultimately diarrhea. Now let's move to lactose, which is another very important disaccharide, and it is a natural sugar occurring in milk. So, when one galactose molecule is joined to a glucose molecule via an alpha 1,2,4 glycosidic linkage, the forming disaccharide is known as lactose. It occurs naturally in milk and it is synthesized by mammary glands of animals during lactation. So beta lactose is sweeter and it is more soluble than ordinary alpha lactose, and beta lactose is most common to occur to origin also. It is used in infant formulation, which means in pharmaceuticals, medium for penicillin production, and as a diluent in pharmaceuticals. Lactose is hydrolyzed to its monosaccharide unit, which means when we break lactose into glucose and galactose with the help of the enzyme known as lactase. And lactase is present in inside the digestive tract of human beings. Deficiency causes lactose intolerance, which means we cannot digest lactose, and it ultimately leads to diarrhea, abdominal cramps, bloating and distension. And these are the structures of, this is the structure of sucrose, this is the structure of lactose, and this is the structure of maltose. So what did we learn in today's lecture? We learned that disaccharides are made up of two monosaccharide units linked together via a glycosidic bond. We also learned what glycosidic bonds are, and we learned deeply about some examples such as maltose, sucrose, lactose, which are the most biologically important disaccharides for us because we take them actively in our diet. Now these are some references for further readings. You can refer to these textbooks. Thank you.